2nd of February today. Time's moving on, so I need to crack on and get finished the cut of props that I've still got to do. So today I'm going to do a quick prop. If you recall from one of the previous videos, I'm going to hang a massive wooden pentangle above Alice's bed. And either side of that pentangle I wanted to put a couple of lights, like kind of melted candles, but I've been unable to kind of buy any online, so I'm going to make my own kind of versions. And I saw a couple of a photograph of some kind of wooden plinths that were kind of on the wall with little candles on, so I'm going to do my own version. So while I was at my brother's the other day, if you recall it, I went there and I did that with a video, and in his back garden there was a load of little bits of wood lying around. So these are the types of things that I collected, so they're all kind of weathered and dirty and grubby. They look absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of have something like that on the wall with a little shelf on it. Obviously this is oversized, so I need to cut it down. A little shelf on it like that, and then I'm going to have a candle sat on there, and I'm going to melt the candle down so it looks all kind of melted and dripping wax all over the place. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. But first I need to kind of wash all these down and clean up all the kind of green mouldy moss and that's on the bits of wood, so I'm going to do that first. So what I'm doing is just scrubbing these down a little bit, put some washing up liquid in and a tiny little bit of bleach just to try and clean them up. I don't want them to look too clean. It's a nice sunny day today, so hopefully they'll dry naturally, and then I'll take them in the house later on. They'll probably dry overnight and I'll crack on making this again tomorrow, probably tomorrow. So the next stage is to attach the candles to the little plinths, stands, whatever you want to call them, the mounts that I've made for them. They're a little bit too big, so I'm going to reduce the size to about that much, and then I'm going to use the remainder of the candle to do all the kind of to melt them down and do all the kind of drips. I want drips kind of hanging off of here. So in order to do that, I've got a heat gun, so I'm just going to blast that. I've never tried this before, so I don't know how hot this goes. So hopefully it'll melt the candle wax. It should do. We'll get that dripping off the end of here, and hopefully we'll have some nice creepy horror looking candle props that we're going to hang on the wall. Okay, so I've cut the tops off of the candles and get them to kind of the right size that I want, and I've hollowed out the inside of the tops, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little kind of one of these little tea light things in, with a little flame. That's because obviously I'm not going to use a real flame for the candles, because then that would melt the candles would burn down with the cost of making the foam, which would muck up continuity. So, and because this is just a prop in Alice's bedroom, it doesn't need to be a proper candle. We're just going to have this little light flickering. So the next stage is to try and melt down some of the spare wax that I've got from kind of cutting these candles down. So I've got some chunks. I've got that big chunk that I cut at the top, then I've broken up the other one into smaller chunks, and I'm going to place these around here so I can just melt them down. I've also got some shavings, quite fine shavings, so I'm going to kind of maybe put some of them around, and they'll probably melt a lot quicker. So there's a little bit of a trial and error with some of this stuff. Finally got the candles finished. I had a bit of a arduous task with it actually, because the heat gun that I had was absolutely no good whatsoever, because all it did was just blow hot air out, so I might as well just been using a hairdryer. So all I did was like just spread the wax across in the wrong direction, just blowing it away. So ended up not using that, obviously. So I had to go out to the shops and get one of these lighters that you kind of use for lighting, you know, a gas ring on a cooker kind of thing. It's actually ran out of gas because I've used it that much. So I've been kind of using a cross between that and the bit of candle that I cut off the top. Still had the wick on, so I was using that and a little lighter to kind of light the wick, and just kind of using that to melt and letting it drip all over the candle. So I've got all the drips coming down, dripping off the end, all the wax all melted and looking lovely and dirty and mucky and yucky. So I've tried to put some kind of wood burns on the back to simulate now the kind of the burn from the candle on each of the bits of wood. And all I'm going to do now is just pop those into there. That's going to sit in there nicely. A little switch on the bottom, so we'll flick that on, put that inside, and it's got a little candle flame burning away. So when these two are on the wall next to the pentangle in the dark, they're going to look pretty cool, I think. Pretty awesome. They look amazing, and it's really going to set the room off, I think. Fabulous.